Hi Gemini, my name is Jason. Thank you for coming to my channel. This is your general reading for the month of November 2018. I've already given the cards a pretty good shuffle. Let's see what November has for us. For you, I'm a Cancer. Okay, you go into the beginning of November with the energy of the Eight of Cups. So have you just walked away from something, Gemini? Have you decided that enough's enough and you've gone away, probably secretly, you've probably checked out already? Perhaps if you haven't done it officially, you may have just decided enough's enough. Maybe it's a job or a group situation you're in, or a relationship. You've just checked out and you've gone out of this unbalanced situation. Have a look at those cups there. See more on the bottom than there are on the top. Looks a bit unbalanced. So this person stalking away in the night time, which is what made me think that you might be doing it secretly, or you haven't just done it quite openly yet. Okay, but look, good for you, Gemini, because it's showing that you've placed some value on yourself, and this unbalanced situation couldn't continue. And so you've either made the decision or you're just about to make the decision. Okay, I think you know what I'm talking about. Maybe we'll talk about that a little later. Okay, your task for the month of November is to try and get out of this betrayal. This is the Three of Swords, and it indicates a sense of betrayal, can indicate a third-party situation. Okay, but if it's not like a relationship thing, usually it's some backstabbing somewhere. Someone's done something which has made someone feel, pretty horrible, and your task will be to get over that somehow, change your perspective on how you see things and rise above it. Don't see yourself as a victim here, okay? Even if you have been the victim, aim to sort of take a spiritual, philosophical kind of approach to what's happened. Be very careful that you don't fall into a grudge here, okay? So whatever you've walked away from here, don't let it make you bitter and twisted, okay? We'll try and clarify this and see what it might have been a little about. But the task is to really avoid that situation, okay, Gemini? And now, your fears for the month of November. Now, you seem to fear this celebration here. The Four of Wands is a card of celebration. So why would you be fearing a card of celebration? Why would you be fearing this happiness? I'm feeling it's because there's a sense of unfinished business there for you, Gemini. So perhaps you were in the middle of something and it wasn't quite working. You never quite got to see the fruition of your project or the parts of the work that you put into, and you're not necessarily looking forward to this continuing. So it's looking like you might be holding a bit of a grudge there, and you're fearing that whatever project you've been involved in, it's you don't want it to succeed because you haven't had your recognition. Now that's a very specific and horrible message for someone, but I'm thinking that's probably, or that's the message that I'm picking up there, that you don't want this to happen if you're not involved. We'll try and clarify that a little later, okay? Now, the best attitude for you to take for the month of November is represented by the Page of Swords. Now, have a look at the Page of Swords here. It's quite a young person, okay, and staring into the wind, going the opposite direction. If you have a look at that tree in the background, it's blowing one way, and here's this page standing, defying it, going, challenging it almost. Now, he's only a page and he doesn't have a lot of power, but you might be being asked to step up to the plate here, Gemini. So you might be being asked to even stand your ground against the forces that be, if you want. So if you've seen something done that's wrong, then you're being asked to stand up, even though you might only be like a junior partner, or you won't have a lot of credibility, or you don't feel as though you have a lot of power in things. You might be being asked to make a stand against some kind of injustice here. Okay, that's the best attitude to take, is stand up for what's right, even if you feel like the David in the story of David and Goliath, okay, whatever reason that's come to me, okay. So if there's someone called David who's done something wrong, you might need to, or Goliath, or name starting with G perhaps, then you may need to stand up to them, okay. Now, let's have a look at the result of using the energies as best you might, and that's the World card. Excellent. So the World card, as a result of using the energies to the best of your ability in November, is a new sense of growth that you've had, okay? So a sense of protection here. So if you have a look at the wreath surrounding the dancer here, okay, that's the universe protecting her, okay? She's got all those, like the bodyguards representing, you know, the earth, the air, the fire, the water surrounding her, so she's quite protected there. You'll also be getting a new sense of your identity. You will have felt that you've grown somehow. So by standing up against this injustice, or what you see to be an injustice, you stand up to that, Gemini, and you're going to get this feeling at the end of the month, and might even be some recognition there and some opportunities coming to move you along to another path, or further along the path that you're on. Okay, so that's a very positive card to finish, and it looks like you can get there by standing up to some injustice that you see. We can clarify that, maybe what the injustice might be. Okay, so you're walking away from a situation, Gemini. You may not have made it open yet, but you've decided to yourself that enough's enough, and you're out of there. Okay, you've checked out emotionally, perhaps physically you've checked out of there. Why is that card there? All right, too much bickering. Okay, so the Five of Wands represents people fighting almost for the sake of fighting. It's not real arguments. It's not a real issue here that they're fighting over. It's just squabbling about power, about little things, who's in charge, or you'll know what I'm talking about here, but you've had enough. You've decided that this is not the environment that you want to be in, and you've moved on. Okay, you've got yourself a sense of value. You say, I'm bigger than this. I'm not putting up with this. Okay, and you're out of there. So good. Okay. Why is the Three of Swords here in the task position? So, sorry, Gemini, your task for the month of November was represented by the Three of Swords, not feeling too betrayed, not feeling like a victim here. Okay, so let's see if we can clarify that. Why is that there? Okay, all right, you feel like you've been left out in the cold. The Five of Pentacles talks about how you're feeling like you've been left out in the cold, or you might need to help someone perhaps who's been left out in the cold. Okay, so look at those people there. They've been hurt, injured, one of them certainly, and it's like they're in some kind of organisation, and they've tried to participate. It hasn't worked, and they've walked away. They've either walked away, or they've been thrown out. Either way, they're not in the main group anymore. They're not in the church. Okay, so there's a sense of that's what you need to overcome. Okay, so you've got to try and not have this energy, or if you do have this energy, use that energy. So rightio, I'm on the outside looking in. Now you've got that certain detachment, that certain separation that you needed, which you perhaps couldn't have done that inside this group or inside this enclave or whatever it was you were in. Now you can use that to your advantage, okay? And that's your task. Don't feel like a victim, but you are left out in the cold. Use that energy somehow, okay? I'm not being guided to go further into that. Let's have a look. So you don't want something to succeed, okay? This is a card of success and happiness and, winning. Now, why would you not want something to succeed? Perhaps there's something immoral or something, someone's broken the rules and you don't want to see the cheaters win. Okay, let's have a look and see This is all about why is this Four of Wands here in the fused position for Gemini. Ace of Cups. Okay, so the Ace of Cups usually represents a new emotional beginning, a new emotional offer brought to you by the universe. Okay, looks like perhaps you're holding out for something. Okay, so you might be holding out for something a bit better. Okay, so this might look like a victory, but it's been done in such a way that you didn't like the way it was done for whatever reason, and so you're holding out for something more. Okay, now that could be perhaps if it was a law settlement, a legal settlement, something like that. You might be wanting to hold out for something which is a real win. Okay, a real win for you, not just a token gesture which told you that you'd won an argument or someone apologised. Any apology would be a little bit too little, too late. You want something a bit more than that, and that's what you're going for there. That's what it seems to be in your fears position. Let's have a look at the Page of Swords here. Now, the Page of Swords here, I'm feeling that this person is fired up and ready to go against it. And if that's you, Gemini, well, good luck to you. Okay, if you're feeling like it, you really need to stand up to things. Two of Swords. Okay, so there might be a decision that needs to be made. It looks like you've got the Page of Swords there going against the grain of whoever it is they're going against. Okay, you've got this Two of Swords here. Now, the Two of Swords, she doesn't have all the information she needs. If you have a look just above the Two Swords there, above the sword, you'll see the moon. Now, the moon is representing the unknown. She's also wearing that blindfold. So before she can really go any further, she needs to have more information, or she's charging ahead and she's taking on this energy without having all the information, and so she doesn't really know which way to go. Okay, but she's taking it on anyway. So that's very brave of you, Gemini. If that is you, it looks like there's something pretty big going down here, really, not so much in the grand scheme of things, but it looks like there's something big going down. Something untoward might have happened. Let's see. Let me try and give you some more clarity on the best attitude, the best approach to take to this energy for the month of November, as far as this Two of Swords and the Page of Swords goes. Temperance. Okay, so it's looking here like you're going to have to mediate your way somehow. The Temperance card is a card of moderation. It's a card of finding the middle ground. Okay, so I'm feeling like navigating down a river, and on one side it might be too rocky, and on the other side it might be rocky, and you've got to try and take that slowly, okay, to make sure that, or make sure you don't wreck yourself in the process. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling there. So go for some kind of middle ground. I'm not seeing middle ground as in let's all get along. I'm seeing this middle ground as steer yourself, be very careful to go through that, to navigate your way through this. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry about that. Just important phone call. Okay, where were we? Yes. So Temperance. Again, this is not asking you to cooperate necessarily or make a win-win situation. It's asking you to protect yourself. So don't wreck your boat on the rocks. Okay, that's whatever I got that image for, that's what I'm seeing. Okay, so that's the best attitude to take. So by all means, go for it and fight the good fight. Okay, you're still looking for a bit of information. Okay, so look at this. Go against it, fight the good fight, even though you might be a little, you might be a lightweight against this big thing which has happened. Okay, you don't have all the information you need, but to make all the right decisions, and you're being guided just to keep moving forward, but just navigate the middle way very carefully so you don't wreck your boat on the rocks. Okay, that's what I'm feeling there for the best attitude to take. Now, if you do all that, the end of the month, the result, the World card. Now, I've already said that this dancer is protected, okay? So there's some divine protection here for whatever you've done or whatever you're about to almost get yourself into here, unless it's sort of all done and dusted by the end of the month. It's looking like you're being encouraged to say, yes, this is good and it's going to lead to bigger and better things. Okay, so let's have a look. What kind of things? Why is the World card here? Why is the World card here for Gemini for the month of November? What's the World card all about here? Please help us out, Spirit, with the results at the end of November for whatever Gemini's up to here, whatever they're doing here. Okay, Knight of Wands. So the Knights usually carry a message, okay, or it could represent a person. Now, the Knight of Wands is quite a fiery energy. They don't stick around long. They come in and they go. So this person might have some news, okay, and this news might start something off, might start something new, okay. So when I think of wands and fire, I think of the beginning of something, okay, news of something which is about to happen. So it could be news of a lawsuit. So this could be like a not so much a lawyer, but someone in a position of authority or someone who represents some kind of authority saying, rightio, this is going to start now. So it looks here, Gemini, like if this is the story that I'm getting for you, that something's about to start. So it might be quite a long process which is started up by this Knight of Wands, okay? I'd just like to even clarify the Knight of Wands again a little bit more. Why is the Knight of Wands here? What kind of message does the Knight of Wands have here for Gemini? The Star card, okay? So it's definitely optimism. So whatever it is, the messages has given you optimism about whatever it is, okay? So it won't be bad news. It'll give you hope that you have stood your ground and you've fought the good fight and good things are coming of it, and it's going to leave you in this wonderful position of, you've got the World card here, okay? The Knight of Wands comes along with some kind of message, some kind of news, or some kind of document, or which gets something started, and it's given you lots of hope in the Star card. So what a great way to finish November. Looks like there's a bit of a battle on for you, Gemini. I'd really appreciate it if that's resonated for you, particularly if you could leave me a message and let me know a bit about that story, how well it's communicated here, and I hope to see you in November.